We're live.
Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we made it.
It's my favorite part.
Going live?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Um, I don't have an intro topic. I was going to say the Video Game Awards, but that's kind of a lot of our news.
Yeah. I mean, they literally just happened.
They just finished.
Yeah. So,
Overwatch is the winner. Spoilers, I guess.
there we go. All right.
Too late. Overwatch is Jeff Keighley's favorite game of the year. It won the biggest Keighley that it can be won.
The biggest Keighley.
Yep.
These are the Keighley Awards.
The
mean, they
Keighleys?
are. Yeah, so, sure.
But let's save that for news. You might as well save that for news.
I'll transition with an opening topic. Do you care about video game awards? Just in general.
No, but it's just kind of like an event to watch. Like
Sure.
It's like E3 kind of, but with less announcements and more product placements. It's just kind of like this was my watching experience. I had my iPad propped up, playing the Game Awards quietly while I played video games for the majority of my attention.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
That's probably the right way to do it.
What about you? Do you care?
Like, no, not really, but it is kind of nice. There's no, like, I don't know. This is the thing, is that there's a lot of movie awards, and there's nothing really like that that's official for video games besides this. So it's just kind of nice
hang on,
that,
besides the Top 10 Respective Game of the Year podcast.
Well, of course. Well, what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of Game of the Year stuff, like in podcast form and news articles and all that sort of thing on sites. But there's not like a big televised event sort of thing, like all the time.
Except at
for games.
twitch.com/top10perspective near the end of the year when we do our Game of the Year live show.
Also, remind me when we're off air that we need to discuss how we're going to be taking community responses this year, because last year was a fucking gong show.
Oh, right. We usually had already did that by now.
Yeah.
Because it's December. Man, December just crept up. Okay, we do need to discuss that.
I'm on vacation for 2 weeks now from work, so I can help set that up.
I can probably set that up at like work tomorrow or something.
Cool. But yeah, we actually have to get on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, you're back.
I've already started like my lists and stuff because I kind of just keep like a running list going throughout the year.
That's a smart way to do it. I do it last minute.
Yeah, exactly. See, I kind of write it down while it's fresh. But
yeah.
Anyway, I know what you mean. We don't have a big award show. And
this is like the industry one, right? Like this is the only video game industry one that we watch. It's the only thing we have, and it's kind of nice to get like a kind of basic gauge on the industry, what people found interesting of the year in like a big format show thing.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, and I feel like the same way with the Oscars is I don't like really care, but it's just kind of like a big event to watch. And as someone who like doesn't watch like sports, and I don't care when the big games are on, it's nice to when I do watch one of these, know that Twitter's also watching it, so I get to be part of that zeitgeist for once, because I never am.
You're totally right.
So
like short of like if you have like a favorite YouTuber or Twitch streamer, if they do like a big event thing, there's not really gaming events to watch regularly.
Yeah.
So I get it. Yeah, for sure. That being said, I don't care about people's opinions on games because I have my own. But it's kind of nice just to see what the basic gist of all of that shit is.
I mean, yeah, I'm curious what like, because I think it's all voted. So I'm curious what everyone else is thinking and just kind of what gets the awards.
No, you're totally right.
You can usually guess it. Like I gave you the 5 nominees for the Game of the Year, and without hesitation, you guessed Overwatch. But
yeah.
Anyways, we'll go in more depth with that when we get into news. But in case you somehow came across this without being subscribed in any way, this is the Top 10 Perspective.
Yeah, that's us.
The industry-leading video game podcast.
And there's only 2 of us, we should say, this week.
That's right. I don't know where John is.
He is working.
Okay,
Consider
so
like
East Coast?
this. No, I think Atlanta area. Maybe?
Is that the East Coast? I feel like I ask this every single time.
It's south. It's in Georgia.
South.
It's
Okay,
somewhere in
so
Georgia. It
East
might not even
Coast.
be Atlanta. I mean, compared to like you, everything's East Coast.
Where's Georgia?
It's like, I guess you would
Is it
say
right beside
southeast.
Texas, or is it? But I don't even. I You know what? I don't even care.
Right.
John's off working. He left this morning,
He did.
so our schedules just barely missed each other. I guess he'll be back next week. I don't really know.
How was the rest of your Thanksgiving trip or whatever?
It's good. We played some really cold mini golf.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Um,
I saw you bought some Pixar movies, and then I asked you if you owned them, and you're just like, "Lol, no."
yeah, I only own like the last like few on Blu-ray,
Gotcha.
and then I own a few of them on DVD. But I definitely do not have the whole thing. I don't. I like, and even I don't even have like everyone that comes out. I don't have the Good Dinosaur because I wasn't super into Good Dinosaur.
Right.
But I really liked Finding Dory. That movie was. I think that movie's hilarious.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, I picked that up.
Cool.
Yeah, I did some Black Friday, which I guess we hadn't talked. We talked to that. I was planning to do Black Friday, but I hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, because we did it Thursday last week. So
Thursday night. I remember. Yeah, we earlier on that Thursday, because a lot of the deals have been going live on Thursday on the website. I was like, can we just swing by Best Buy in case they're doing the movies already, and then I can just get this over with?
yeah.
Best Buy wasn't even open on that Thursday, but people were already camped out, and we drove by around noon, meaning, they're there for the rest of the day until whenever Best Buy opens, which I don't know when, maybe like 6 or something.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
with tents, like that's a for real thing.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I don't know, man. Like, I get it, but that's like consumerism at its worst. When you're just like waiting to buy a thing you probably don't need. Because it's not like this is the food bank that they're lined up for. This is a fucking electronics store.
Right. But I mean, Black Friday is a great time to get gifts for Christmas.
Of course. Sure.
So if you have the chance of getting like a big TV for your family at a super discount price, like you'd be like super dad or super mom if you came home with that, right? So I can kind of get it, but
Sure.
I'm not going to do that.
No.
Instead, I'm going to show up around 1 p.m, pick up a bunch of Blu-rays,
Yeah.
and casually go through the line and leave.
Maybe it's different for us because we grew up in Canada, and like growing up, it was the only exposure we really had to Black Friday was when you would watch like an American station on TV, and they would have commercials about like their blowouts and shit. But like we didn't
I feel
really
like in the
have-
last like 5 years, we definitely have Black Friday. Like it's
Oh
up
yeah,
there
but
now.
growing up we didn't. So it wasn't ingrained into our minds from a young age that like we must buy on this day.
There's also just less of us, like as a
That's
people.
true. Yeah.
So there's just less people to trample and to be a trampler.
Sure.
So there's that. But we have Boxing Day, which is the same.
Essentially the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I get both.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess so Paul's here, Sean's here. It's December 1st.
Yeah.
Christmas season is upon us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bought my yearly on Black Friday, my yearly ugly Christmas sweater that I'll be wearing.
I think I have one from last year that I ordered that came late or earlier this year. It's like a video game centric one. I can't remember where it is, but it's somewhere here.
Put it on the camera for people. It's this nice light blue. It's a reindeer wearing sunglasses, and he's looking at it. You can see like
Does it say "Make It Rain"?
It says "Make It Rain," but REIN.
Yeah.
And that reindeer looks like he's about to shred some like he's gonna go snowboarding.
He does look like he's gonna go snowboarding. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty good. Got that at Target.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, Paul, why don't you tell me what you have been playing?
Yeah. So because of this whole end of the year shabacle and like trying to kind of catch up on games, but not really, I started going through like the games I had and wanted to play. Shadow Warrior 2 specifically was one me and a friend bought at the same time to play together. And then we just didn't for a while because he got super busy and our schedules wouldn't line up. But we started it, finally. And I've
But
been
you're trying to go through like 2016 games because end of the year's coming up. Is that what you were saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Shadow Warrior 2 was one of the shooters that I was like, this is kind of different than like every shooter I've tried this year is great in its own way, which is going to make it really, really hard to decide what's going on with end of the year shit. Like Doom has like the fast, old style shooting. Overwatch has the good like Team Fortress feel that I never got from Team Fortress. Like I never got into that game, but I liked Overwatch.
I like Team Fortress 2.
Titanfall 2 is just like a fast moving, good modern shooter in the way that like Call of Duty used to be. I haven't tried the new Call of Duty yet, but maybe at some point. Shadow Warrior 2 is essentially like a Borderlands 2 or a Borderlands game. It's a looter shooter is the term, I guess.
That's
people
really
use.
I haven't heard that, but that's a gross term.
Yeah, it's a gross term for sure. But yeah, like I started playing it with that friend, and then I just kept playing it with other people to just keep playing because I am enjoying it, I think. So the premise is, or I'll tell you the problem I think I have with it, is that when they were making it like the original Shadow Warrior reboot that came out like 2 years ago or whatever. And I think it was supposed to be a single player story focused thing. So when they tacked on multiplayer, it feels just that, like it's tacked on to a single player experience, which makes it kind of awkward in some parts. For example, anytime you join a game or whatever, like say your friend is hosting a game, you join the game, you are joining their single player game essentially. You cannot choose missions to go on. You cannot talk to NPCs that have missions for you to like get it for both of you. It has to be them. They have to be the one to pick up the item at the end of a mission to continue the story mission on. Like, so it just feels real weird when my like friend is doing something else. Say we're on a mission to get like a scroll or something. My friend's doing something else. He's fucking around. Yeah, he's fucking around. He's killing just random shit and like grabbing money or whatever, going through a bunch of loot boxes and shit. And nice. I like kill the final guy, and then the scroll that I need to complete this mission is just sitting there. I can't pick it up. He has to be the one to walk across the map, click the button, and then we can finish the mission off. And then he has to be the one to hand it in at the hub world. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of irritating.
Just clunky.
Yeah, even down to where you're watching cutscenes and like, I kind of don't care about the story that's going on, so I like to skip the stuff because I just like how the game feels. That's why I'm into this game. Like, I just want to play it. So some of the cutscenes are kind of long, and like my one friend that I was playing with was watching all of it, and I was just like, oh, come on. And then the other friend I'm playing with...
Well, that's not really a problem with the game.
It is because I should be able to skip it on my end. I don't like that it's like all
like
based on him.
You just start doing stuff, but then you'll have to wait for him anyway.
Right, but during that time, there's so much customization of your weapons I could be doing. Instead, I'm wasting time. Like, it's been nice because I did do some of the story stuff, and then I'm playing with somebody who had just started it the next night. So I replayed a lot of that story stuff with him, and he's, like, into skipping the story. He doesn't give a shit, which is super nice. Otherwise, I would have had to seen the same shit, like, twice in a row in, like, one full day, essentially. But
can you think of any game that when you're playing co-op, one person can skip it?
The thing is if it's a cut, like I just don't want cutscenes in a multiplayer thing. I just like they can have audio logs or whatever, and I can do whatever. But the fact is that the way this game operates in Borderlands, you get a bunch of guns as drops. In this game, you get some guns as drops, but you get a lot of modifications for your guns. Like, every gun has, like, 3 slots.
All right.
And I would rather just be able to take the time that it would take to watch this stupid cutscene and, like, modify my weapon so I'm ready to go when my friend is done watching the cutscene for himself. Like, I don't know. I just don't like that it's all... Everything in that game is based around... who is like hosting the game. I just don't like that style at all. It bugs me.
All right.
Other than that though, like there is so much in that game, it is fucking stupid. The way you can customize your guns and like craft.
That sounds good, right?
Yeah, Yeah. The thing is that all the upgrades don't feel like they're necessary. For example, I had 2 gems, which are like your modification things that you can place in the guns to change how they operate, that were essentially the same thing. The only difference was one of them increased toxic damage by 16%, and the other increased it by 15%. So there's just like a bunch of fake loot in there, basically, where it's just like going up 1% or 0.1%. That doesn't feel like it's worth a shit to me.
That's all loot games.
For like,
and then you just get rid of
for the most part,
weaker ones. Like Borderlands definitely had that too.
Yeah, but Borderlands, you're picking up a whole new gun with different makes and different firing styles. This is just like, do I want the 1% more in my AK-47 type gun? Or do I want this other thing completely? It just seems like the incremental upgrades are so small in Shadow Warrior 2 that it seems like it's just padding to make it seem like they could say we have over 1 million different combinations. It's like, yeah, but 800,000 of them are like 1% increments. So maybe you don't. It's not enough for me to hate that on that game or anything. I'm having a pretty good time. The writing's pretty good. It's silly. It's gory. Like, you're killing shit pretty good. Like, it feels good when you're killing shit. You have different powers you can use. There's good melee system. Overall, the game is pretty good. It just, I think, is suffering from the fact that it came out in the year where there's been amazing shooters. And I don't think it's amazing like the way that the other ones are that I've played this year. So it's kind of suffering.
But it's different.
Bit.
None of the other ones are loot.
It's different.
Games, so
yeah, sure.
If you're wanting a loot game, I guess that it's a. I'm glad it's a good one.
Sure. Yeah, there is that.
Cool.
Yeah, I am glad that it is a multiplayer loot game and not just like another single player thing, because I think it would have really suffered if it was just another single player thing. But it's kind of weird playing the same map over and over again for different missions, because you could tell they repurpose. You could tell that like they made a part of the map just for like a single player thing, and it's huge. So they just make you go back to it like 3 times sometimes for different missions, because they're just reusing the same asset that they spend so much time on. It's just one of those things that like you notice when a multiplayer game is made with the idea that you're going to be doing a multiplayer thing. It just works better than when you repurpose a single player thing just mechanically, but it's totally playable. And it's one of those things that when you're playing a game with a friend, you can overlook a lot of the small things that don't break the game, and I don't feel there's anything that really breaks the game in that game, so it's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all I've been playing, really.
All right. I've been playing Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, you and everybody else in the world except me.
Just a lot of Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good version of Pokemon. Nothing much else to say about that. Crazy bad frame rate drops during the battles.
I've actually heard this from a few people. Yeah.
It's insane how much they slow down. But anyway, yeah, over 20 hours into that, so just gonna continue along with Pokemon.
Did you get your Poplio or whatever you needed?
I got a Poplio, yeah.
Good.
I forgot Hebrew Lantern on Discord.
David,
we were swapping some eggs.
Cool.
So yeah, I got all the starters now. Thanks to everyone who helped me out. Apart from that, I played through Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Okay, so you walked around in a video game for a while and looked at prettiness.
Yeah, it's a good looking game.
Yeah.
It's a nice sounding game. It has the whole thing of Gone Home, where like it's so empty, it's like kind of spooky.
Huh. Okay.
And yeah, that's just that came out on PlayStation Plus. I think it was a November one. And I started that not this last week, but the week before. But I played the majority of it this week. You walk way too slow, which is definitely annoying because all you do is really walk around. And you kind of follow this ball of light around to bring you. Well, the way it goes is you walk around and you get to different little sections, and then all of a sudden, these like light spirals will appear, and people will start talking. You can't see the people, but like the light spirals are talking, and they're supposed to be like flashes of the past before everyone went to the Rapture. You're just
Sure.
kind of like you're slowly figuring out what happened and just the lives of the people. And there's this floating orb that kind of directs you where to go, which works only like at 60% of the time. Sometimes it will, like if you didn't watch it, it'll just disappear and you'll get kind of lost.
Hmm.
Because it never gates you. You can walk anywhere you want. So there was definitely times where I was like, "Am I supposed to be back traveling?" And sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. So I definitely got lost a few times, which is kind of annoying.
Hmm.
But apart from that, kind of a cool little. It's about 4 hours long. Just have a heavy narration. So if you like games like Firewatch and Gone Home, you'll probably enjoy this. Except the movement speed is mind numbing.
Is that by design for like what's going on in the story, or is it just like I don't know
I was
why?
thinking that
Hmm.
because you would think, all right, they're making me walk slow. They must want me to be looking around a lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's not a ton to look at. You're just kind of like in a small town. And there's not like a ton of environmental storytelling until you get to one of the moments where you would stop walking anyway because there's like a dialogue scene. And then sometimes, they'll be talking about like, oh man, did you see like there's a bunch of dead birds over there? And then you can go over and you can look at the dead birds and stuff. But a lot of the time, like I guess they just want you to like be exploring as much as possible. But personally, I would have explored a lot more if I could like walk into that house, like get over to that house faster.
Right.
So and afterwards, I know I missed a lot of dialogue sections and like it's subplots and whatnot because you have to explore and find them. So there's a great article on Kotaku from when it came out of oh, I can't remember who wrote it, but he played through the game like 2 or 3 times, and really wrote down like this is what happened, this is what I think happened, here's the metaphors and stuff. And I read through that and got a lot more of it. And yeah, I missed a bunch, but just thinking like if I could have walked faster, I probably would have explored more because
Right.
but yeah, it impeded me. So maybe they were trying to get towards something with the slower speed, but I don't think it was successful.
Sure.
I would have still preferred.
It seems like a misstep either way, honestly, because then, yeah, I see where you're coming from, where it's like, well, I'm walking so slow, I don't want to spend any more time than I need to because I just
Yeah.
want to get to the point I need to continue.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned with the glowing orb, you kind of need to keep your eye on it because I got lost. So there's a lot of times where it's like, hey, should I go check out that house? Like I can see the doors open, but there's been times where I have done that, and then when I finished exploring the house and I walked out, and it's like, well, I have no idea where to go because
Yeah.
that orb took a left around that corner, and then I don't know what it did after that. I'm
Hmm.
just going to keep walking and hope the orb shows up. And usually, eventually, it will after I walk around a bit. It's like, oh, there it is in the corner. I'll go over there. Um, but yeah, anyways, it was free on PlayStation Plus. So if you picked it up, I would recommend checking it out.
Okay.
You'll know pretty quick if you're interested in going through it. But like I said, it's about 4 hours. So
Is it something that, like, you feel like you could get the experience if you just watched, like, a Let's Play or playthrough of it or something? Or do you feel like you have to be in control? Like, are there parts where it's like, that had more emphasis in my mind because I had to do a thing with my hands?
no, all you're doing is walking.
Okay.
Um, so if you feel like you playing through Gone or watching someone play through Gone Home or Firewatch,
Yeah.
was enough for you, this will be the same.
Okay, cool.
Um, Ideally, I would just say hopefully the person playing it is being quiet during the narrative part
Sure.
because all that game is story, and it's a lot of talking from the characters. There's like 10 different characters that you learn about and stuff. So
Okay, cool.
but yeah, anyway. And then I've been playing another game that I can't really discuss until next week, but I've been playing Dead Rising 4.
Oh man, John's gonna be so mad.
Yeah. Luckily, when he's back on the podcast, I'll be able to discuss it. But that's actually where a lot of my time has been is with Dead Rising 4 this week. So
Obviously, when we go off the air, you'll give me a nod, yes or
I'll
no.
give you all the info. Yeah,
Sure,
sure,
there you go.
sure. Anyways, apart from that, let's get on to the news.
Yeah, there's enough to talk about for sure.
So top of the show, we mentioned Game Awards. I just have Kotaku open because they basically posted everything.
Right.
So this is going to be in reverse order because that's how websites work.
Okay.
Overwatch 1, they
Yeah.
showed new trailer, or I guess the first trailer for the next Walking Dead season.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. It showed some Mass Effect. This was probably the thing I was like most excited to see was the Mass Effect, and it looks real nice.
Yeah, I saw people tweeting about it when I was tweeting out that we were going live, that they were super excited. So,
Mass Effect looks cool. So that's spring 2017. Can't wait.
yep.
They showed and announced Shovel Knight: Spectre of Torment, which is a prequel.
Okay. Cool.
I've got mixed feelings. I like Shovel Knight a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could have seen Yacht Club do something different.
Okay. What? So, will this game take place when Shovel Knight and like Shield Knight or whatever are together? I'm guessing.
Shield Knight's in red, right?
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
it like was Shield Knight wearing a cloak?
I don't
Or was it
remember.
armor?
Probably had
Okay,
a
the
cape at least.
The character in the trailer is in like a red cloak. So
Interesting. Okay.
I don't remember all of the Shovel Knight lore.
Right.
So I can't really tell you a ton. But I would assume you're not Shovel Knight. Although there is co-op. It looked like there was co-op. I don't know who the other character was. Again, I had the Game Awards on in the corner of my eye while I was playing games. So, let's see. They showed some more Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
New trailer, a bit of gameplay. That's still a game I'm going to play. So yeah, it still looks like the next Zelda. So who's not going to play that?
Right.
Looks like they showed some Prey. I don't even remember watching this.
Prey. Okay.
Yeah, the new Prey.
Right.
That Dragon Cancer won the Impact Game Awards, or what was the full title of that? It was like Games with Purpose or something. Oh, sorry. Games for Impact. That was the title.
Okay.
And That Dragon Cancer won. Heart-wrenching speech from the father, of course. If anyone's played That Dragon Cancer. Telltale officially announced their Guardians of the Galaxy game. We're kind of getting to the beginning of
news or
of the award show. So I'm just gonna go through the notes I wrote down. This will be in chronological order. So we talked about Zelda.
Yeah.
Gearbox is starting a publishing thing now. Gearbox Publishing, and their first one is Bulletstorm Full Clip.
Okay.
Which I couldn't tell if that was a new Bulletstorm
or like a remaster or something.
Like a remaster.
Right.
Because weren't they doing a remaster, or was that separate? I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably not a new one, I would assume, but I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think it might be because you can play as Duke Nukem and he's fully voiced for the whole game. Because Gearbox.
All right.
So at the end of that trailer, you get a bunch of like Duke Nukem talking, and like they're bleeping out all of his swears while he's like being angry. So Colored John excited for sure. He's a big Duke Nukem fan.
Yeah, and Bulletstorm.
Was he super into Bulletstorm? I played through it.
I don't know, actually.
The game's fine. I don't have anything against Bulletstorm.
Right.
Yeah. Then Keeley talked about Kojima for a long time.
I'm sure he did because he's obsessed with him.
Well, especially because remember Kojima was not allowed to go to last year's Game Awards. Remember that whole thing? So Kojima saying stuff like Kojima had this award robbed from him, and like just like getting like really aggressive towards what happened to Kojima. And anyways, Kojima got an award for being amazing. I can't remember what the award was.
They actually just gave him an award for being amazing.
But it was just kind of like one of those like lifetime achievement awards, where like when an actor gets one for just being great. It was just kind of that. Like they didn't give him. There was no specific game or whatever. It was just. I think at one point he might have said the greatest man of all time.
Okay. Here's the thing, right?
He was going super into it.
I love Metal Gear. I like a lot of Hideo Kojima's stuff.
You can't wait for Death Stranding.
That is so fucking grossly overboard. It's ridiculous. Jeff Keighley needs to stop acting like a weird teenage stalker. That's fucking weird. I don't like that.
Got a little weird.
I don't like that at all.
Get a little weird. I guess they're like best buds.
Great. I'm happy for them, but I don't need...
Maybe this was just like 10 minutes of Keighley being like, hey, I'm friends with Kojima. Ha.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, no disrespect. It went on for a while, and the hyperbole in his speech was just a little shocking.
I'm not disrespecting Kojima at all. I'm just saying fuck Jeff Keighley.
No, I'm saying no disrespect to either of them.
Oh, okay.
I know they're both big fans of the show.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, can I hang out with the two of you? Anyway, They showed a trailer for Death Stranding. Guillermo del Toro's in it as a guy.
Great. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I'm in.
Yeah. There's more weird robot babies and military dudes taking off their goggles and their face changing, and it looks like the next Metal Gear game.
Right. Yeah, that's actually good.
Isn't the next Metal Gear game technically a weird zombie co-op shooter from like a different dimensional rifts and stuff?
You know, I finally saw that trailer.
Yeah, this looks like the actual next Metal Gear game. So
that's cool. At least
I would recommend checking out that trailer. It's weird.
All right.
I have a note saying the art direction category was crazy jam-packed. I'm trying to think who was not inside one, but when I just saw the nominees, I was like, wow, this is a really this is a hard choice. I think the five were Inside, Overwatch, Firewatch. I think Abzu might have been in there.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
I'm gonna look this up. Video game.
Yeah.
Direction. All right, nominees. Okay, best art direction. View nominees. Okay, Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, and Uncharted 4. Like art direction, those are some heavy hitters.
They are.
Every one of those deserves it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
This is the thing I don't like about award shows, right? And this is why I actually love the long form Giant Bomb, TDP, whoever, like probably Idle Thumbs, I don't know, I haven't listened to them in a while, do like a Game of the Year thing, because there's reasoning as to they say why they hold something in regard. In this list, I would love to hear what the argument for Inside is over Overwatch or Firewatch or whatever. Why?
Yep.
Because I'm interested in that conversation, because you're right, these are some pretty big games artistic wise. So
yeah, that was a massive category. I mean, it comes down, you can relate that to reviews. Some people just want the score. Some people want to read what that score means.
Right.
So, it's cool that there are sites like Giant Bomb where that you get to hear those deliberations, because I agree with you. I love hearing that stuff. Yeah. I like listening to people discuss it critically. But anyway, I just wanted to point out that category, because that's a hard category to pick from. But Inside looks great. That game looks so cool,
especially where it goes.
Yeah,
the
whole art direction, the whole what is the question? Yeah, that's a cool game.
It's pretty good.
They had. Why did I close that tab? This was a pretty good category, and the dude who gave the let me find it. Best sports / racing game.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy who gave the award, I can't remember his name. Even he was like, "This is a great cat," and this was all with tongue in cheek. He goes, "This is a great category because you get to put these driving games up against these realistic sports simulators. It's just so crazy."
Yeah.
You could tell he was like, "This is bullshit."
I'm actually looking at the nominees for this.
Yeah,
and you're right.
Let me write down these nominees for you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a sports game that came out. Yeah.
Here's the specific Pro Evolution Soccer 2017. You got the best of soccer. All right, great.
Right. Yeah.
NBA 2K17. It's the basketball is amazing. MLB The Show 16. Who doesn't love baseball?
I mean, that's their biggest thing, the show. So,
FIFA 17. The next
Sure.
more soccer than you could ever want.
Right.
Forza Horizon 3.
You drive cars real fast.
And Forza Horizon 3 is the winner. I'm glad Forza Horizon 3 is the best sports or racing.
I'm so for that decision. Yeah.
I actually didn't remember what the nominees were. I remembered that Forza won, but just looking at it, you got 4 sports games up against this race one, and then like this category is so dumb.
Yeah.
This is such a dumb category.
It's really bad. The reason they tacked on the /racing is so that they could give Forza Horizon 3 a win thing.
I guess not enough racing games came out this year. I'm trying to think of what else came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must have been some stuff. I bet there's a lot of smaller things like that car game or something.
Right.
But anyway, that was probably the silliest category.
It's really, really silly. It's really dumb.
And then the one I wanted to bring up was they had one that was best game direction. Oh, hang on, let me see if that was the actual title of the category.
Best studio /game direction was one.
Where's that?
It's the second one on their official list.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. So the way they described it, because they put a little tagline when they would read off what the category is these are games that are moving the genres forward and are shaping games and are doing something unique.
Sure.
And then 5 are from AAA studios, and they're all shooters.
Yeah.
Which just seemed kind of odd to me because I was like, okay, like what kind of games are going to put here? Like, Firewatch is pretty unique. Inside is definitely unique. Oh, we got a class-based shooter. We got a military shooter. We got Doom, which is just like a really great version of Doom.
It's a really great version of Doom, though. Let me stop you right there.
The 4th Uncharted and the 2nd Titanfall. Like, I was just like, what? What?
Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird.
I'm sorry, the tagline's even on the website. Let me just read this as they wrote it down. Recognizing a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. What? None of these are that.
It's true.
These shooters are the most cookie cutter thing. This is like anyway. Overwatch 1. Overwatch is great. Don't get me wrong. I love Overwatch. It does some really great things for multiplayer shooters and stuff.
Sure.
But like, it seemed like this that I guess I interpret this category much differently.
Yeah. What you're actually interpreting it as is best art direction.
Maybe best art. Well, no, because I feel like that's kind of a different thing as well.
It is a different thing, but those are like the games I think you're thinking that tried something different.
Yeah, I guess maybe I would nominate the art direction games. Let me for this one because what's another game like Abzu? I can't think of anything that came out recently.
Maybe Firewatch. I don't know. I haven't played Abzu honestly.
Journey, but not underwater. Echo the Dolphin. I don't know.
Dolphin's
right?
So good.
Like it's just weird. Like and especially when they're using words like innovation. And it's like, this is Uncharted 4. Like, maybe if it was the first Uncharted, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another thing. But anyway, those are some notes I wrote down. That was the Game Awards. Love them or hate them. Take them as you will. Mass Effect looks cool.
That's all that you really wanted to get to.
Yeah, I'm excited for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Okay, other news from this last week. Games with Gold. We kind of touched on this a little bit last week because Burnout Paradise is coming at the end of the month. Yeah. Burnout Paradise, everybody. Get on that.
Sure.
The other Xbox 360 game is Outland. That's another great game.
That's a great game. Yeah.
That's a fun game. If you liked Ori and the Blind Forest, I recommend checking out Outland. similar gameplay.
Yeah. Different mechanically, though. It's not as fast moving. It's more about
I don't know, because it's a lot about like shifting the colors, and you have to shift the
the
color like while
colors. Yeah. Yeah, it's
there's some
weird.
puzzle platforming. Yeah, so
Yeah.
and then Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition and Outlast on Xbox One.
Great. All right.
And then PlayStation Plus games. Let's load these up. We have Invisible Ink, Stories Path of Destinies.
Oh, that game is so good.
This Stories game. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's so good. I highly recommend people check that out.
What is it? What is it like?
It's like this storybook that's being told and you're playing the main protagonist, but along the way there's different like choices. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure novel in a video game form. And
What
like
genre are we talking?
like a like a far out isometric hack and slash type game. Like a beat 'em up sort of thing.
All right. Maybe I'll check that out then. Sure.
It's super cool. Yeah.
Hypervoid on
I don't know.
PlayStation 3. I don't know what that is. Tiny Troopers Joint Ops,
Okay.
which I also don't know. Color Guardians, which sounds kind of familiar. I don't know what that is either. And then VVVVVV,
So good.
which is an old game, but it's that's another goodie.
Yeah, super good. Yeah.
Continuing on, PlayStation Communities. I don't think this is that new, but there's an app for it now. It's like the Xbox clubs or whatever. Anyway, we have a PlayStation community. And if you didn't see my Twitter or the Top Down Perspectives Twitter, we have a Xbox club as well. I don't know how you find these. Search Top Down Perspective on either of them, and then you can join. And I guess we can play games together. So that's a thing.
Okay.
Yep. I kind of wish the PlayStation Communities app was just part of the PlayStation app, but it needed its own, I guess.
That's dumb. I didn't know that. That's stupid. Okay. I thought this was an add-on to the other thing.
Yeah,
okay.
So anyway, we have those if people want to get together and play some games together. I play Overwatch quite a bit on PlayStation. Hey, there's a new Soul Calibur. You like Soul Calibur?
I do, and I'm actually mad that we're doing this live. I can't watch this video yet. I'll have to watch it after.
It's pretty good because at the end of this trailer, after everyone's fighting and there's like energy stuff happening, it's a pachinko machine.
I mean, I fucking love pachinko machines.
Well, I'm glad because there's a Soul Calibur pachinko machine coming.
I mean, there's a pachinko machine for everything, so...
Sooner or later, yeah. I could actually go for a new Soul Calibur, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, for sure.
It's been a long time since Ivy's boobs have increased in volume.
Yep.
And Keelik has to show me the way.
Right. Those are both things that need to happen, like, now.
Yeah, I could go for both of those. I like Soul Calibur. It's like that and Mortal Kombat were like the two fighting games that weren't Smash Bros. That I played the most of growing up. So, Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is happening 2017.
Okay.
Speaking of fighting games, are you excited?
Actually, yeah, that's cool.
I never played a ton of this, but I definitely played it in the arcade. Probably the first one, I guess.
Yeah, no, like, I don't play them a whole lot, but I love watching people play that game. So,
and just the crazy attacks and stuff happening.
Yeah.
Too bad John's not here. I'm sure he'd be going crazy about this.
Oh, totally.
But Marvel vs. Capcom 4, it's cool that they're going back to that because the last one was quite a while ago. I'm seeing if this article mentions when 3 came out.
I feel like it was probably
2011.
Oh, I was going to say 2012. I'd be close.
It was early 2011 as well.
Oh, so I wasn't too close, and I was about 2 years off.
Almost, yeah. So there you go.
All right.
Anyway, so that's the thing happening next year. Get hype.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest news this week was the No Man's Sky patch.
Yes.
I didn't watch this trailer. I just kind of heard about it through sources. Have you looked into this?
No, because I don't care.
It's not enough to bring you back?
No.
So, base building seems to be the big one. There's some kind of like challenge, like survival mode.
Okay, sure.
Let's just see. With this patch, No Man's Sky is now broken up into 3 modes. Normal, the original No Man's Sky, creative, base building mode, and survival which the developers describe as a much more challenging endurance experience. This is 1.1. They're calling it the Foundation update, and it's the first of many free updates.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be free, right? Yeah. Like, especially if you call it the Foundation update. What type of asshole charges for something called the Foundation update?
Right. And it's already out now. I was meaning to look into it, but I've just been busy with new games.
Right.
Let's see, a couple other things. A ton of changes ranging from UI tweaks to improved distribution of plant life, increased the number of different NPC character models. I'm just going to open up this whole patch notes thing and see what we got. I guess you can do farming now. Looks like you can put plants inside your base and farm them, which that seems kind of interesting to get your resources.
This all is pretty interesting. It's just
place save points anywhere in the world. It seems like a good update. Like these are all cool things that can happen.
Sure. I don't know that it excuses them not saying anything in the whole time they were making it, but whatever. That's no big deal.
Anyway,
either way, I don't care.
If you're all interested in No Man's Sky, the patch notes are so long at the bottom here, and they just keep going. Wow. Okay. Anyways, this seems like right up your alley. I'll probably look into this a little bit over my Christmas break. People sent in some Pokemon news. Sun and Moon have reportedly. Oh, I just skipped it.
They have a version planned for the Switch, apparently.
Yeah, I was going to do the sale one, but then I realized I'm reading the wrong one. Apparently, it's rumored they're doing a mode for the Switch. Seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because main Pokemon titles are never on the home consoles, but maybe the Switch. But the Switch is technically also a handheld, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it could happen.
This is on Eurogamer, by the way. Apparently, multiple sources tell Eurogamer that it's in development. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna remain skeptical.
Yep.
But if that does happen, like it would look better. Like that'd be cool. I won't play it again.
This is the thing, is that if that happens, I kind of want that version since I didn't buy the other one yet.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I want though is if that happens, where's my like good-looking HD Layton title that I get to play on the couch?
It's probably coming. It's probably out in Japan right now.
I'm thinking of all the great handheld games that I want a console version of, like a real good-looking Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give it to me. I want it all. Hopefully this happens, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah. Metroid Hunters.
Sun and Moon have sold 1.8 million, which is approximately 30,000 more than X and Y.
He also included here second most in the first week, next to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which sold about 664,000 more. So
I did not know that.
Sun and Moon, pretty big release.
Those ones have sold the most.
I mean,
second gen is great. I really like second gen. It's probably my favorite gen. But I wasn't like crazy into the remake. Anyway, that about does it for news.
Yeah.
Let's go on to questions.
Word. I guess I'm going to be stuck with this first one. If I were to guess. All right. Did you? Oh, okay. I just noticed. I was like, wait, are you still there? I thought maybe you disconnected, but no.
Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second.
No, that's fine.
Before the questions, though, people can send in questions topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, through the Facebook group. Oh, we have a Facebook question. I'm going to get that while you're reading. Did you grab it?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Way to go.
Yeah.
Facebook group. On our Discord server, again.
We actually got questions from like every place you can send it, except maybe John's P.O. box, but like maybe we can't check it. So
we can't check it. Who knows? We probably didn't. We probably didn't.
No.
John's P.O. box is a valid way to questions, and no matter what you send there, we will read it on there.
That's right.
which is not a guarantee for any of the other ones. The other ones we pick and choose.
It's true.
But yes, send questions in, and you could sound just like Matthew here that Paul's going to read.
Right. The NPD numbers are in. So, let's do this. These are interesting. It's just, actually, you know what? He didn't use a whole lot of abbreviations this time, so I might be able to muddle my way through this. Xbox One sold approximately 330,000. What would this be for? This would be for November or October? Probably October, right?
I'm guessing November. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This wasn't like one of the first ones of this week. He just sent this in, I think, tonight. You're right. Yeah. So this is likely for November.
Yeah.
Okay. Xbox One, approximately 330,000. The PS4, 235,000. He has exactly. He doesn't have the squiggly lines, so that's the exact number. And the 3DS was more than 123,000.
Okay.
There you go. Battlefield 1 sold. Okay, that's a weird way. That's a weird way to say that. That's a weird way to say 1.2 million.
2 million.
He wrote it as 1,292,000.
Yeah, which he's done that before, and he even did it twice in this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it's
whatever.
fine. It's fine.
Maybe that's just how the website net does it. I don't know.
I'm gonna round this up even and say 1.3 million, and that's excluding 1.2 million bundle. Oh no, I see. It's
1.25 million of those were bundles.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Mafia 3, 503,000. Gears of War 4.
No, sorry, the opposite. 1.25 million were not bundles. If you exclude the bundles,
they were single. Like the single purchase, yeah. Yep. Mafia 3 was 503,000. Gears of War 4 was 505,000. 415,000 if you don't count the bundles.
Yep.
Skyrim, that's the remastered edition that came out.
I understand that apparently runs really poorly.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
That's what
I heard. 400,000. Madden, the new Madden is out, so that's 304,000. FIFA 301,000, NBA 297,000.
Who cares about that Madden? That wasn't even nominated for a best sports or racing game.
That's true.
At the video game awards.
It's true. Both FIFA and NBA were. So there you go.
Yep.
Was NBA actually? Yeah, it was. WWE 283,000. Now TF2. I want to say Team Fortress 2, but I know it's Titanfall 2.
Oh, right. You're right. I was going to say it's got to be Team Fortress 2, and then I was like, oh, wait, no, Titanfall.
And I fucking hate that there's two very well-known games right now with that same thing. But
well, I don't know if Team Fortress 2 is a super well-known...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it has a community.
Yeah, but who talks about that right now?
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why when I saw that, my initial reaction is, Matthew is on crack. This is a 10-year-old list right here, but yeah, Titanfall 2, 182,000, Color Splash, 100,000, Yokai Watch 2, less than 50,000, Just Dance, less than 30,000, New Skylanders, or does he mean the toys in general? Either way, it's 66,000, and the Uncharted bundle sold about 130,000.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joshua wrote in with a few questions. Do you think the games industry has become inundated with open world sandboxes?
Not anymore, but yes. There was a point where it seemed like every game had to do that. Right now it feels like shooters. It really feels like shooters are the thing again.
A lot of shooters.
There was a time, I want to say probably about 2007 to 2010, there was a lot of those.
Of what, open world games?
Yeah, there's like...
I still think there's a lot.
I mean, there's the Just Cause games. What's that? Infamous, there's Prototype, there was the Assassin's Creed games. Like, there's...
I mean, we had an Assassin's Creed every year.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still thinking, a lot. Like right now, what open world games like came out recently? Like
Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2, Mafia 3.
Mafia 3, yep.
That's
all I can really think of.
Dead Rising 4 is technically open world.
But yeah, but you can't talk about that till next week, so...
Well, I can't talk about what I feel about it, but we know that's an open world game.
Well, how do you feel about open world games?
I mean, I'm fine with open world games.
See,
Just the
you,
genre
yeah,
is
okay,
fine.
okay.
I mean,
Specifically, just the genre is fine.
I feel like more games went towards open world
Uh huh.
because it was easy for them to say, you can spend 1 million
You're
hours
right.
here by this game, as opposed to, oh yeah, I finished this, narrative, single player narrative in 8 hours, and then there wasn't anything new for me to do. Whereas if you have an open world game, there's always there's always another submission, especially when they started like populating open world games with just like anything that could happen. Like I remember like in Red Dead, for an example, you'll just like come across some people like mugging or tying up a dude or whatever, and you can just get involved with that. Or you'll be on your horse and people will like charge by and you could like hunt them down and whatnot. Like just
Yeah.
and so it's an easy way to put a ton of more hours into your game.
Right.
Also writes, any pay for phone games apps you would recommend outside the Go games?
Probably. I don't actually have my phone with me. It's out in the main room. Yeah, probably. If you give me a second, I might be able to think of some.
The Ace Attorney games.
Uh huh.
Ghost Trick. Speaking of which, that just got updated for iOS 10 this last week, so that's a thing.
That's cool.
I feel like I mentioned like a pay for phone game like almost every second week here.
Yeah.
I'm just going. Here's the ones on my phone. Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lion, Heads Up, Imbroglio, Lumines, Necrodancer. Really Bad Chess is free, but that's also great. Reigns
is
super good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Severed, I'm loving that. Anything from 3 Minute Games, which are the Lifeline games. Space Team is awesome. That's another free game, but it's only multiplayer, local multiplayer. So there's a whole bunch. Yeah.
What about? I have a better question for you because you know games. What about a pay for app? An app that you have to pay for.
Just like a really great app.
Yeah.
That I use often.
What's your killer app that you have to pay for?
I was gonna say Twitter.
Right.
I like Overcast for podcasts. You don't have to pay for that either.
I'm trying to think if I ever bought an app.
I've bought apps. I'm just Clear is a great to-do list app.
That actually sounds dope.
I like 1Password.
Okay.
So you have to pay for 1Password.
No, you're right. Actually, these like password keeper type things is invaluable.
Also free password keeper.
I don't trust that as much.
Yeah, most of these apps are free.
Killer apps. There you go. Top down perspective.
Favorite movie starring Will Ferrell?
Oh, I don't like Will Ferrell. So
mine's probably the first Anchorman.
That's probably mine too.
I also like Elf.
Okay, sure.
I mean, like, Elf is a movie where he's not just being like aggressively awful towards like the viewer.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I'm looking up his stuff here. Like, maybe Austin Powers, because he just dies in it. He's okay. Mustafa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like him at all, so. It's like Anchorman is probably the actual answer, because the things I find annoying about him work towards, like, that character.
Zoolander was good back then?
Sure. He's the worst part of Zoolander for me, so.
Okay.
But sure.
All right. And Josh also liked Nathan on the podcast. Yeah, me too.
We all like Nathan on the podcast.
It's a nice treat, a rare treat.
Yeah. Well, it's not that rare. On TDP it is, but yeah, I talk with him frequently. Fucking Bob Saget. Every time it gets me, it makes me smile a little bit. Bob Saget writes in and says, biggest gaming pet peeve.
Didn't two people write in asking what our pet peeves are?
You're probably right.
Yeah, I'm just going to go delete the other one.
Where is it?
Don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Gaming pet peeve.
Yeah. open
Uh,
world games, I guess.
but so you just don't like open world games?
I'm not a huge fan of it because it bothers me having a list of things to do and knowing I don't like have the time or want to do the list, but feeling compelled that I should. Like it bugs like OCD tendencies in me.
Oh, I've got a good one.
Okay.
um, Having to grind, like specifically games that
Okay.
aren't they that
That aren't skateboarding games. I got you.
oh yeah, just anything that like
Yeah.
yeah, no. A lot of Final Fantasies will do it where it's just you get to a boss and it's like, oh no, you should have spent like an hour before this just grinding and not really focusing on the game really, but just grinding. It any game where it includes, involves you leveling up, but through the natural progression of the story, if you just do the tasks, you'll be strong enough when you reach the boss. That's ideal. Anytime where it's like, nope, you need to be like 3 levels higher than you are, despite you having done everything. That's just
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
That's There's so many Final Fantasy games where I've gotten to the final boss and it just because I was like 5 levels too short, which would probably equate to like 4 hours. Just
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, that's a pretty good one for sure.
The Bravely games are bad with that too. Luckily, they have the auto battle system, so I can kind of just let my game play itself for a bit. That was a great addition to that.
Okay.
That's
Sounds
probably
good.
my biggest one.
Yeah, that's fair. How do you classify someone's positive bias of a game as nostalgia? Does it have, or does it have to have been played years before, as a child specifically, or some other benchmark I can't think of?
It's a good question. I like this question.
It's
I feel like
yeah.
nostalgia is always from the past.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically it is always from the past. You can't have played a game in the future.
Right. Exactly.
Um, I feel like I never hear nostalgia being talked about outside of like childhood
Right.
or your teens. To be fair, though, video games is kind of a young art form,
Yeah.
so most people that are super into it, uh, it's only been around for like 20 years or whatever, 20, 30 years maybe, I should say.
I remember having a similar conversation about this with John when we were doing Retro Kill Screen, trying to decide what is considered retro that we should like talk about and stuff,
Okay.
and like nostalgia. And I think we pretty much determined that it at least has to be one full like hardware generation older. Like there has to be a market improvement in quality that you see these days, so that your nostalgia is coloring like what you remember fondly about a game when you've been so far removed from it.
Well, how do you
So
do
long.
PC then?
This is the thing, is that PC is just fucked because you can play anything at any time that runs on a PC.
Right. um,
It's a weird thing. Nostalgia. I'm gonna
yeah,
say 3.5 years. That's how long you gotta wait.
3.5 years. See, I think it's got to be longer because I'm trying to think of a game like I'm. What's a game that came out like 4 years ago?
Uh,
Like let's say Borderlands 1 that came out in 2011, I believe,
yeah,
2009, I think maybe.
sure.
It's further than that. I wouldn't say I'm nostalgic for it.
See, I would, because I remember when that came out and playing it with a couple of my friends on PlayStation, and that's what colors my opinion of that game as being better than the second one, even though it isn't. Is the nostalgia I have for that time.
But how is that different from you just saying that you like it? Like what is specifically
Because
making it
because if
like,
I
what is the
play
difference
it,
between nostalgia and just liking it?
because nostalgia colors something positively, where in reality,
Well, so does liking it.
well, not necessarily. If I go back and play it, I don't like Borderlands like at all. I can't barely play it.
No, no. Well, let's just, okay. Here's the scenario.
Nostalgia is like always a memory.
Right. Well, I mean, it's always going to be a memory. How would you differentiate saying I'm nostalgic for this and I like this? And let's say you're not playing it right now, you're just thinking back on a game.
Because like is a present term. If I say I
Well,
like this, it
'cause I
means
could,
that I'm doing it right now.
well, I could still say no. I like God of War 3. I haven't played God of War 3 in forever, but I
Well,
wouldn't say I
then
dislike it. I would say I like it.
you liked it, which is
Okay,
nostalgia.
sure. Then make it liked.
Okay.
But I don't want liked to mean I no longer like it. I was just
No, not necessarily that you no longer like something.
Okay,
It's just like a past
I'm just
tense.
laying that down. So what is the difference then between saying I'm nostalgic for this game and I liked this game?
In my mind, there isn't one.
Right. But there has to be one
Does
because
there?
those aren't the same thing.
Hmm.
So maybe you do have to be a child.
I mean, it could be.
'Cause all I can think of is I would only use nostalgic if I was a
Okay.
child.
Here is a good definition of nostalgia that I just looked
Okay.
up.
Sure.
The state of being homesick, homesickness, a wistful or excessively sentimental yearning for return to or of some past period of irrecoverable condition. So you were nostalgic for, let's say, Frogger because at the time it just like felt right. But now that you're older, you like Frogger or liked it, but you're not like yearning for that experience.
You know what I think I think there's two important parts to it. The first one you just mentioned up is that you're still yearning for it.
Yeah, you're
But I
right.
think the more important one is it's unobtainable
You might be. Yeah, I think you're right.
because
Like, I'm trying to think of a
there's
game that I'm nostalgic
between
for.
there's a difference between me just going back and playing just picking up Mario Kart right
Okay.
now
Right.
and me thinking back to Mario Kart in the past because I
Right.
was playing with my friends.
Right.
I didn't have as many games then, and I was able to just sink so many hours into it. That is
Yeah.
not something I can do right now.
Right. Or you're just nostalgic for that one time when that game was the only thing you had or the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
But now
So
yeah.
I think being unable to obtain it now is a key is key to that.
So I'm nostalgic for Dead Rising 4. Got it. All right.
Well, you definitely well, right. I mean, that's a bit
No,
different.
I know.
Right?
It's totally different. I'm just fucking with you at this point.
Yeah. That was a good question.
Yeah.
So I would say you don't have to be a child. It's just something you can't get anymore.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
Although, and I don't want to continue on this question for too much longer, but I still think there needs to be some level of time in between. Because let's say I was playing, like I think of the Jackbox games right now, the party pack.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, I had people over. We played some Jackbox games. I can't do that right now.
Right.
Like literally, if I wanted to do that right now, I can't. But I would not say I'm nostalgic for those games.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And even if let's say I moved, so even if I had like a day to prepare, I still couldn't get it done. I still wouldn't say I'm nostalgic. So I still think there needs to be a certain amount of time in between.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there needed to be like an intense likeness there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you can't be nostalgic for something that like you thought was okay. I don't think. Like under that definition.
Well, that's where I think the first part that you're yearning for it.
Right. Exactly.
Because if it's something that's okay, you're probably not yearning for it, right?
I would think so. Right. That's super unhealthy if you're yearning for something you thought was okay. Yeah.
Good question.
Good question. What else does he have here? Also, for college advice from an up a year, do mildly stupid. Oh, this is from, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago when somebody said that they're like stressing out, they're in college. Like, how was college experience? We get the college thing a few times a year or whatever.
Yep.
But so he's just responding. Bob Saget says to that person, I can't remember who originally wrote in and said it. For college advice from an up a year, do mildly stupid things frequently. They're very cathartic. For example, I've made my common greeting from hey or how are you to Bruce. It's quite interesting to watching how people react to it. So there you go. Bob Saget just gave you advice.
It just sounds like a weird dude.
Yeah, that's a weird dude.
It's a weird thing to do. Thomas writes, Sean, how was Fantastic Beasts? It was good. I enjoyed it. Also, have you heard of the new wizarding meme? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Paul informed us last week, but I probably shouldn't ask you about it.
Wizarding meme?
Do you know what he's talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about.
I feel like I have to listen to last week's episode now. I don't. Have you heard of the new wizarding meme?
Anyway, second, how are you finding the Steam Autumn Sale? And what are the funniest Steam Awards submissions you have seen?
That's right. The Steam Awards were a thing.
We didn't talk about the Steam Awards. Did that finish? Is it still going on?
Don't actually know. I have Steam open. I'll quickly check, I guess.
I haven't bought anything.
Yeah, me neither.
I saw they just put up like for $30 you can get like 30 games, a humble bundle, which is kind of interesting. You get one new game each day up to Christmas, or no, all for December. Sorry, for December.
That's kind of cool. I saw an infographic like pie chart on Twitter. Apparently 34% or something like this of all of the games on Steam were released this year.
No, it was more. It was like 60% of them. That's what I was saying.
Was it that much?
I think I saw 60, and then I saw like 55%.
Anyways, it's a lot.
That's crazy if you think about it, and then you got to think like, what percentage is it going to be next year? Like games are just getting. There's so many games out there.
There are so many games out there for sure.
Anyways, while you're looking up at Steam, third, what are the best Black Friday deals you have seen?
Also, it doesn't seem like it's up anymore for me. So
okay, I really didn't follow it.
Yeah,
so
me neither.
Did you see any Black Friday deals that you thought were great?
No.
I got Ex Machina for $4. I thought that was pretty good on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Finding Dory for 10 was probably my favorite deal that I took advantage of.
Okay.
Fourth, how do you get into cooking things more elaborately? Like, I'm cool with cooking stuff like spaghetti and mashed potatoes, but I never want to experiment too much for fear that I'll utterly ruin everything.
You look in a book or on the internet, see how it's done, and then do it.
Yeah, you gotta just try. Like, get someone to show you. My parents kind of taught me a lot of the things I needed to learn.
Yeah.
Like I needed to learn how to cook chicken. I needed to learn how to make eggs. I eat a lot of chicken and eggs now that I think about it.
How to know like how to cook a steak if somebody like wants it medium or rare or well done, and that stuff is pretty.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's pretty good.
I don't eat a lot of red meat though, so it's not much of an issue for me.
Sure.
But yeah, you just got to try.
I mean, it's recipes.
Cook with someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you're not,
like a parent or.
Yeah, you're not a 5-star chef. You shouldn't expect yourself to be able to know how something will taste by combining the like palates in your mind. It's like, oh, it should taste like this if I do this. Like, just watch a video or read a book. Open a fucking book. Jesus.
Everything's on YouTube.
Yep, everything.
But yeah, cooking can be fun when you get to put like, whatever you want into something. And you're like, I'm going to put chicken nuggets in this mac and cheese because I'm an adult and there's no one around to tell me not to.
Sean, how many chicken nuggets could you eat in one sitting?
Pick a number.
50.
That's a lot. I'm trying to think, what do I normally eat in one sitting? And it's probably around 20.
Yeah, sure. 20 in one sitting is probably like a normal meal.
If I was pushing it, I could. I mean, I've never really tried pushing it, but
right.
Actually,
50 nugget challenge.
50 nugget challenge.
Are you in?
I would try it. I can eat a lot, but I had a chicken nugget party once.
Okay.
I was probably like 13 or 14. A bunch of my friends came over. You know M&M's Meat Shop in Calgary? Or I guess I should just say in Canada.
Yeah.
They're great. They are so good. And their chicken nuggets are to die for. Every time I go up, I always ask my parents to pick up a box of those chicken nuggets. They are cheap. They're cheaper than like anywhere else. You get more, and they're actually healthier than like anywhere else. Those are fantastic.
M&M meat shops, like some of their meats are kind of expensive, but they're all quality. They're a great place to get
I've never really looked into a lot of the other stuff. The only time anything I've ever picked up there was the chicken nuggets and their mozzarella sticks.
I've had their mozzarella sticks. I've never actually had their nuggets before.
I would
I'll have to
highly
try it out.
recommend their nuggets. You should definitely try them out. Yeah,
Maybe
like I
tomorrow.
said, you get a whole bunch of their nuggets,
Yeah.
and they're healthier than just going to like a Walmart and getting whatever
Oh, I'm sure.
frozen nuggets or Anyway, I had a chicken nugget party. My mom bought like 10 boxes of those nuggets and a lot of Mountain Dew. And we played through WarioWare Smooth Moves like 3 times and just ate chicken nuggets and drank Mountain Dew. And it was probably the most like video game thing ever.
Yeah. Also, it was 38% of all Steam games, apparently.
38? Okay, I could have sworn I saw 60 and 55, but it seems that number's changing, so who knows?
Yeah, whatever. Okay, apparently he had a news thing in here. My bad for not seeing that.
Yeah, it's like there is something called a good bundle is going on Itch.io.
Oh, yeah, this isn't worth talking about. It's a lot of like Flash games and crappy indie games. There's some good stuff in there, but okay, I guess we're talking about it because I'm
in it.
I'm already describing what it is, so I guess we're talking about it. It's basically 150 something games, and if you pay like $2, you get actually it says right here. If you pay $2, you get 89 games. $8 will get you 36 more on top of that, and $20 will get you all 151. You don't get the good games unless you pay the higher prices. Otherwise, you're getting a lot of like Flash games and indie things.
Okay.
That's why I don't think it's worth talking about.
Okay. Well, too late.
Yep. So there you go. A good bundle. If you just want to pad your collection of 151 games, they are DRM free, so you don't need Steam and stuff, but I kind of like having a Steam library, so that's another thing I don't like about it.
And we gotta keep moving.
Yep.
6, how do you feel about all the hacking Pokemon shenanigans and people outcrying about repercussions from hacking Sun and Moon? First, we had people who used torrented copies online getting banned. Then there were people using an old version of a save editing software, screwing up their save files and blaming it on the game. I think people are dumb.
People are dumb, and Nintendo should just... they should straight up tell them.
Nintendo, of course you're going to get banned.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's another bit of news. Nintendo wouldn't let like AM2R get nominated, and whatever the Pokemon one was. I think it might have been the Game Awards, wasn't it? No, or maybe it was a different award show.
Pokemon Uranium? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I was another fan when they got shut down by Nintendo. Right. There was some Game Award. I'm trying to see what it says in this article that had a best fan creation category, and Nintendo would not let those games be nominated. Which weird.
I mean, I honestly don't think
it is just the Game Awards. So yeah.
I honestly don't think this would have been a problem for those fan creations if they hadn't used the words Metroid and Pokemon, like actual trademark names.
That's another thing, but
whatever.
I mean, it's one thing to take them away, and now Nintendo won't even let them be nominated. Like, I don't know. At some point, shouldn't I know the Game Awards have like a relationship with Nintendo.
Sure.
Shouldn't they just be like, dude, whatever, this was a good game? I don't know.
They might be legally forced to really not allow them to do that shit, though. I'm not sure. I'm no lawyer.
I mean, like, what are they doing? All they're saying is, I enjoyed this thing.
No, just the fact that it's diluting their branded names. The Metroid
but it's something
and
that
Pokemon
exists. Like, at this point, anyone can say, I liked that thing.
Sure.
And now, it's like... And now Nintendo is basically saying, you cannot publicly say you like this.
Right.
Like, what? That just seems weird.
They very likely are legally forced to not allow other people to get away with that shit.
Probably.
Because of the name. If they had named it just like, instead of another Metroid 2 thing, they just named it like, I don't know, Jubilee or some dumb shit, it probably would have been fine. I think it's just a name thing. Anyways, this next one scares the shit out of me.
This is intense.
Okay, Hank writes in. Hank is I'm 3D Homer in the chat. Everyone on the podcast follow these steps individually. So you and I guess.
Yeah.
And everybody you can play at home too. So we have to pick a game we love, a game we hate, and a game that is completely mediocre or unremarkable. So,
Yeah, I love Burnout Paradise.
yeah. What's a game you hate?
I hate Kid Icarus Uprising.
Okay, Kid Icarus. Okay, what's a completely mediocre game?
Um, mediocre sounds negative, but a game that I was just kind of like met on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's gone to the Rapture.
Okay. I'm going to say game I love, Resident Evil. Game I hate is... I'm trying to remember what that fucking shooter was called. That was like a Gears of War clone. The one that
Binary
you played
Domain?
as well. No, I love Binary Domain.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Good. No, that... Oh my god. I hate it so much I didn't even remember the name of it.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. I have that in mind. Whatever. A game that is completely mediocre. Fuck.
Something like mediocre just sounds so harsh.
And it's hard because you don't really have in your mind a game that you just thought was whatever. You just remember the ones you don't like or the ones you like. Let's say it's okay, I'm going to say Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
I thought was whatever.
Okay.
Change one thing about the game you love to make it better.
Okay. It has a better soundtrack.
Okay. The game I love to make it better. Fuck. They did what I would have said. They remastered it. To make it better.
Then say the you love is the remastered version, and then how do you make that one better?
Sure. Okay, we'll go with that then. How do you
just
make that?
you could just say like there's longer, there's more of it.
Yeah, you know what? That's a cop-out answer that I can get behind, and it's kind of true. Okay. I think it's a little too short. Okay. Change one thing about the game you hate to make it worse.
They require you to have 4 hands this time and not just 3.
Yeah. Okay. For mine, they make the cover mechanic not work. Like, that was one of the good things about it, is that it worked. 4, change one thing about a mech game to make it better.
They increase the movement speed.
They made it... I don't know. That's hard.
What didn't you like about Mario Galaxy?
That it was a 3D Mario. I just like.
Okay, so you want it to be 2D? You want Mario Galaxy?
You know what? I would. Sure, I would have been okay with a 2D.
That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I think.
Okay. All right.
Change one thing about the meh game or the mediocre game to make it worse. The camera is the same as Mario 64's camera, because fuck that camera.
There's no little orb giving me a waypoint. I have to just find my way around that town. That would be so hard.
Okay. Where the hell are we? Combine
6. 2
of the games into something great.
Those are very different games.
Yeah. Super Mario is in the Resident Evil mansion trying to fight his way out.
Okay, so it's Burnout Paradise, but there's like narrative elements in it. I mean, there's already no people there, so now there's just like some deep mystery going on, I guess.
Yeah. Combine 2 of the games into something terrible.
Okay, so it's Burnout Paradise, except there's just no other cars.
Great, yeah. Mine is definitely it's Mario Galaxy with like the static camera angles from Resident Evil. So it's just like, so if you're in the wrong position on this like little orb you're on, you just can't see what's happening at all.
Mario.
Yeah.
Hoping. Okay. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Which imaginary game? So just not counting the 3 real games you started with is the best. Oh, out of the 2 we just made. I mean the great one, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Oh no, I think it's out of any of the ones.
It says so just not counting the 3 real games you started with.
Yeah, but remember we made ones better,
right.
We made ones worse?
You're right. Resident Evil, that's longer.
I was going to say, it's got to be Burnout Paradise with a better soundtrack.
Yeah. Which imaginary game is the worst? The cover-based shooter that doesn't work properly that I hated.
Characters that requires 4 hands at once now.
Yeah,
For its
exactly.
control scheme.
Which imaginary game is the most meh? I mean, it's just, I guess, Mario still. The 2D Mario is probably still meh in a weird way.
Burnout Paradise with a narrative is probably weird.
Yeah, okay. Now as a group, rank your answers for 8, 9, and 10, or put, what does that mean? Rank my answers.
Answers for 8, 9, and 10.
Or put another way, what is the best overall imaginary game? Okay, so what was your imaginary game that you thought was best?
We're comparing ours, like who had a better one, we're saying?
What was your imaginary game?
My best imaginary game was Burnout Paradise with a better soundtrack.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Which is kind of a cop-out, because you could put your own music into it,
Sure.
at least on the 360 you could.
So you can make that better imaginary game.
You can have the soundtrack be whatever you want, but whatever.
But you're right, that's a great experience when you do it. It's super fun.
I remember putting just a podcast on, and it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Worst overall imaginary game.
I'm going to say my Mario, 3D Mario with the static camera angle.
That's pretty bad. That's just unplayable.
Or the cover-based shooter where the cover doesn't work is pretty bad too. I
feel like you could get through that if you were just good enough at shooting. But one where you just can't see Mario is just broken.
You're totally right. And his last thing, what is the most meh overall imaginary game? I think 2D Mario or Mario Galaxy.
I think that'd be good. Well, yeah, that's a weird question, because that was the most meh. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
It was the most good, not good. I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for the mind fucking like algebra equation for a question, Homer. I appreciate it.
All right, this one I'm just going to paraphrase down. Why is John called Proton John? I can answer this. It was like a nickname he had in school, I believe.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
John or Paul, how did you come up with Exposure?
It was a blog I had years and years ago when I was a kid, or not a kid, but younger.
All right. And how did I come up with putting an underscore between my first and last name for my Twitter account?
I've always wondered this.
Yeah, it was a lot of planning and careful thinking.
Right. But I mean, you've had some other names. Weren't you Proton Sean for a while somewhere?
Oh, definitely not. I think that was just like a joke people were saying.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I guess maybe I could do like my Xbox Live. Like I have Angel Gamer on a couple things.
Yeah.
That was like middle school made like a name.
Right.
And just have not wanted to spend $10 on Xbox to change it, because who cares?
Sure. Fair enough. All right. Charles McGrath, who I'm going to refer to as Charlie, wrote in and said there's a real bid to try to get jousting added to the Olympics. I think this is great. I'm curious what other sports you guys would like to see added to the Olympics. I think jousting is a great answer.
Are people still jousting? I mean, I guess people must still be jousting.
I guess they'll start if they aren't.
I guess I could just do the easy one and say Quidditch.
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy answer for me.
I'm going to just stick with his answer. I would love to see people joust in the Olympics.
I'm excited about that they're adding climbing.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's going to be so cool watching people race up a rock climbing wall. They're probably just going to be like leaping. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
That's pretty cool. You're right.
That sounds super cool. Daniel writes, hey guys, after hearing Sean talk about his favorite game, Burnout Paradise, again last week, and seeing as it's probably one of the only games he would go back to, it got me thinking. If you could only play your top 5 favorite games for the rest of your life, or any game except your top 5, which would you pick?
Any game except my top 5.
I'd pick that too. Yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly. For the rest of your life. And they'll make something close enough to it. Right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they'll make sequels to it probably if it was worth talking about to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you picked to take all the other games and forego your top 5, how many of your favorite games would it take for you to say screw it to all of their games?
None. Like it would take.
At what point would what number, like, is top 10 favorite games? I think none. I'll always pick the other ones because it's an infinite number versus whatever number I say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like one of the things I like about gaming is seeing how it's evolving. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't
Exactly.
want to be stuck in one period necessarily.
If I pick the favorite games, this podcast ends kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. That was the Facebook question, by the way, so thank you for that. Twitter, Sombrero Mustache wrote in and said, Sean, why do you hate Hyrule Warriors, and do you hate Dynasty Warriors games too?
I haven't played Dynasty Warriors proper, but I've played Dynasty Warriors like games, such as Hyrule Warriors, such as 99 Nights. Yeah, I don't like those games. I find them tedious and just completely uninteresting.
Fair enough. And now Discord
Tay,
questions.
yeah, Tay writes, what are your other big interests besides games? I like movies a lot.
Yeah, movies are good. Music, for me, is huge.
Comics.
Comics are good. Yeah.
It's a lot. I like the gym and being exercising and active a lot. That's another big one.
I wouldn't say comics and movies are as big in my interest level as video games are. Maybe movies are closer than comics for
Right,
sure.
for sure. I don't have a podcast about those,
Right.
so like
That's
gaming
true.
is definitely the number one.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if things that like take up my time or I do most consistently, it's playing games, it's playing sports or going to the gym,
Yeah.
and it's watching movies most likely.
And also just like living life, man. Dedinsky 66 wrote in twice. I'll just read both of these. How's your hairstyle changed since you were a kid? It got older and shorter.
Mine, yeah, I got shorter. I used to
Yeah.
have like swoopy bangs.
Okay. His second question is a bit longer one. Have you ever had a super lame dream? I just had my first dream in like 6 months the other day. A few days before the dream, I did a physics assignment. In the dream, I got back the assignment, see it's 8 out of 10, not to myself in agreement. Then I woke up, checked online, see I got an 8 out of 10, was angry at myself that this was dream worthy. Okay, so he dreamed what grade he got, and it was correct, I guess. which is
spooky.
dope.
First dream in 6 months. I guess it's first dream that you remember, because this is the thing, like,
This
that
is
we're
the thing,
always
right?
dreaming, but you
You're
don't remember
always
them.
dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as you get older, you remember less of them or whatever it is.
Because if you don't dream, your head is actually full, like your subconscious is full of like trash, and you will go insane. So
your head fills up with all these thoughts, and eventually it'll explode.
Yeah, that's how Brainiac was formed in the Superman comics. Was it Superman? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so a super lame dream.
A super lame dream.
I had a dream that I was late for school, and then I woke up in a panic.
Okay.
That was lame.
I don't think I've ever had like one where it's like, oh man, I was like, I was in my underwear at school or anything like that. Like I never had those weird ones.
I totally have had those ones.
I've definitely had ones where like stuff was going well, and then I woke up and it was just like, oh crap, that's not real. I really wish that had happened, but I can't think of something specific. I just remember that scenario having happened. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Did you ever have a dream where you just like
here's
woke
one I had
up?
one recently. Here's one I had recently. My girlfriend and I were at like some party. It was like a big house or whatever. And I was trying to get my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, let's go dance. Come dance with me." And she refused to do it. Instead, she wanted to watch the movie Ants.
Okay.
Which like that movie kind of sucks.
What do you like more, Bugs Life or Ants?
Oh, Bugs Life for sure. Who says Ants?
I don't know. I get parts of each one of them mixed up in my head.
I don't remember a single thing about ants besides that at one point water comes into the colony.
Ants is wasps, right? Are like pushing them around or something? Like yellow jackets or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay.
In Bugs Life, it's the grasshoppers pushing them around, right?
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't remember at all.
The only thing I can remember about ants is water comes into the colony at one point.
Dope.
That's it.
Ants was like a love story, I think, wasn't it? Of like a worker ant like falling in love with like a queen or princess ant or something, or queen ant. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Dreams.
Anyway,
they're done.
Last question. Lucky7 writes, have you ever had a friend who you considered had shit taste in games, but still hung out with them anyway and didn't tell them their game taste was shit? Or did you tell them and try to show them what you consider better games?
No. I just do a podcast with two of them.
Uh, burn.
The delay was what made that good. I like that.
Well, I was trying to think of I bet I have friends that had bad taste in games. Yeah, like I had a friend that all he plays is Call of Duty and the latest NHL game. That's all he plays for the most part.
Is that bad taste though? This is the
I don't
thing. It's
know.
like, what constitutes bad taste? Just like your own opinion, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's just being kind of snobby if I say your opinion's bad.
Right. Exactly.
In this scenario, though, I guess he had a very selective taste, and I tried to show him, like, hey, check out Viva Pinata. It's fantastic. And he was obviously not into it.
Sure.
And it's like, whatever. Like, that's still one of my, like, best buds. I mean,
sure.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Cares.
For sure.
If people want to send any questions, what can they do, Paul?
They can write in topdownperspective@gmail.com, TDP Podcast on Twitter, facebook.com/topdownperspective, and click that like button or whatever you do. Do that. Do it now. Do it now. Discord. We have a Discord. I'm going to find a way to put that Discord link up in a place that is clickable all the time. Like maybe on like the side of like Facebook or like a pinned tweet on Twitter or something.
Okay. I don't think you can do a side thing on the Facebook group.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe you can pin like a thing on Facebook though. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Or just message TDP Podcast on Twitter for an invite to that if you want.
I mean, if you just find the tweets, those are constantly going links. They don't expire, but yeah, it will eventually go further and further down.
Right, exactly.
What's your game of the week?
P.O. Box. Game of the week, I guess, would be Shadow Warrior 2.
And mine's Pokemon Sun. Thanks for listening, guys.
Surprise.
We'll be back next week.
Yep. Bye.